Hey all, welcome to the inaugural edition of Cruising with Eric and Cheryl, or Cheryl and Eric. I'm Eric, this is Cheryl.
Hi.
We decided to do our own cruising YouTube channel for a couple of reasons. We've been watching YouTube videos about cruising for years now. We're both avid cruisers, absolutely love it. And we've seen a lot of really great videos out there, but we decided we kind of had our own unique voice, our unique way of thinking about things and doing things. So we figured, we'd give it a whirl and see what happens. So, would you like to give an introduction, dear?
Well, I have to follow your lead.
Okay.
So, yeah. I wouldn't want to say avid. I mean, you've been on more cruises than I have been.
Yeah, but you've still been on a bunch of them.
Yeah.
It's not like you've been on one.
No. So, yeah. Let's get this party started.
Okay. So we figured since this is our first episode, today we would talk about arguably the first step in deciding on, choosing a cruise. And that's, what cruise line. Now, we don't always choose our cruise based on the cruise line, but it's definitely part of that conversation. So
there are a lot of options out there.
yes, there are. In my opinion, at least, some are better than others.
Yes.
But it also depends on what you're looking for, what you're looking to do. So,
They all have different options.
So Cheryl, what would you say are two or three things two or three questions that you ask yourself and or me when deciding what cruise line you want to go on?
The size of the ship would be one question. What would be the destinations? And then, not really a question, but more of a statement that where I want to go, where I want to travel to, and what are the options.
So when choosing which cruise line,
Correct.
it's about the destinations.
Yes.
Okay. All right. It's not about what else besides destination? What else enters in your mind? Past experiences, desire to try a new cruise line, all the hype about whatever cruise line, seeing if it's all hype or if it's
Both. All three choices, actually. I mean, the options are unlimited, really.
Okay.
In my opinion, from what I've learned
Okay.
and what I have seen.
Okay. For me, it's similar to Cheryl. It's a combination of things. Honestly, there are certain cruise lines that are lower down my list of wanting to try just because of the demographic. The types of customers that they target. For full transparency, Cheryl and I are travel agents. So we book a lot of cruises, not just for ourselves, but for our customers as well. And there are cruise lines that are more geared towards
Families?
families. Yeah, that's a good one. And we don't have little kids. Obviously, we have families, but we don't have little kids. So, I personally like to steer away from some of the cruise lines that actively target little ones. Now, having said that, we are huge fans of Royal Caribbean, which I know is kind of contradiction to what I just said, but that's one of the things I love about Royal is unless you're sitting at the kiddie pool or your stateroom happens to be right outside the door to one of the kids clubs, I don't feel inundated with 8, 9, 10, and 12-year-olds on Royal Caribbean.
No, it's not like you're on a toddler cruise.
Right.
And they have enough activities for multiple age groups.
So it's with me. It's the target demographic that they go after. Like I've heard absolutely amazing things about Disney Cruise Line.
Me too.
Quality of food, quality of service, beauty of the ship.
And it's not just for kids.
Correct. But the desire to check out Disney cruises is lower on my list than checking out some of the other cruise lines. But that's just, my personal experience.
I want to go to Greece.
Okay, what does that have to do with choosing a cruise line?
Because Disney doesn't go to Greece.
I don't know, do they?
I don't know.
Did you look it up?
I did not.
Okay.
Anywho.
There are a bunch of factors that people use to narrow down the choices. Another one is cost. There are arguably 2 or 3, some people say up to 4 tiers of cruise lines, from the I don't want to say budget, but the mid-range up to the premium, and then the ultra premium. Your larger cruise lines like the Carnivals and the Royals and the Norwegians. They're kind of the mass market appeal is one way to put it. But on average, you're looking at give or take $100 a day per person, for like a 7-night cruise, $100 to $150 a day. Then you can, you get up into the premium, Princess and Celebrity are kind of up there, then up, and they're in the $150 to $200 a day range. And then there's, Regent Seven Seas and Silver Sea and,
Emerald.
Emerald Cruises and
Celestial.
Celestials, and that's a good one, especially considering you decided to go to Greece, because they're based out of Athens. They're up in the $300 plus per day. So if budget is a hard number for you, then and you don't want to spend $3,500 per person. You might want to stay away from some of the lines.
Another thing to consider would be the weather. What time of year? Hurricane season, especially whatever part of the Caribbean you're going to.
So are they those factors that help you narrow down the cruise line or the individual itinerary in your mind?
Not the cruise line, because a lot of them have the same destinations.
Okay, and what are we talking about here?
Oh, cruise lines.
How to pick a cruise line, right?
Yeah.
Okay, save that for the next video.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, there's another one.
Well,
I'm kidding. Anywho.
It depends.
If I behave myself.
Well, that's already not happening, so.
And if you want to try out a cruise for the first time and you don't want to go for a week, there are different options too. Multiple options.
That's true.
3-night, 4-night cruises.
Another thing to consider when it comes to choosing a cruise line is, and actually Cheryl was just alluding to it, the type of cruise. If you want to do a Caribbean cruise or any ocean-going cruise, there are certain cruise lines that you lean towards. If you want to do a river cruise in Europe, well, Royal Caribbean, as an example, doesn't do river cruises in Europe. They do have Mediterranean cruises, but they don't do river cruises. So if you want to do a river cruise, or if you want to do a river cruise down the Mississippi River here in the U.S., well, that's going to be a different cruise line. You're not going to those ships are way too big for the rivers.
That's a river cruise, people.
If you want to do expeditionary type cruises where you're going to, the Arctic or the Antarctic or, like the Galapagos Islands, not every cruise line has itineraries like that. So you're going to, your cruise line of choice is going to be different based on that.
How do you figure this stuff out? Do some research on your own. Reach out to your favorite travel agent, or me, actually. Research is definitely key.
There's a lot of great videos here on YouTube about choosing a cruise line. There's some great websites that help you narrow it down. And if you are the type that wants to work with a travel agent, in my opinion, any travel agent worth their salt is going to lead you through a series of questions, whether it be in an online questionnaire or over the phone, and ask you what you like, what you dislike. How do you do you want to just have a nice intimate dinner for the two of you? Do you want to sit with a group of 6 or 8 strangers and get to meet new people?
Other things to do for your children if you have young children. Some are extra costs, some are not. But these are some things that you really have to consider when you want to book a cruise.
Yeah, I think we kind of wandered all over the place.
Well,
but
that's the story of my life. But the other thing is to take into consideration, right? Is where you're leaving from. The East Coast seems to have more options, but then you have Texas and California and Florida.
And if you don't, when choosing a cruise line, if you don't fly, that's going to narrow your choices also. So, like, we live in New Jersey, and if you don't fly, your choices are, basically during the summer months, you can take a cruise out of the greater New York area.
Boston.
You can do Boston. You can do,
Baltimore.
There's 1 or 2 out of Baltimore. Or you can drive down to Florida, and there's, 83 different options in Florida. But
are there any in Virginia? I know they have stops in Virginia.
I think Norfolk. I think there's one cruise line. I want to say Princess. I think, but yeah, there's one cruise line that goes out of Norfolk, a couple of itineraries a year. Not a lot, but so yeah, that's about it for us for today.
Yeah.
If you liked it or didn't hate it, hit the thumbs up button. If you really liked it, hit the subscribe button. This is the first of many videos, hopefully.
We'll be a little bit more organized next time, I think.
I like the spontaneity.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is us, Eric and Cheryl, signing off. See ya.
Bye.